Okay, class, who has heard of a tongue twister before? Raise your hand if you heard of one. Awesome. What's a tongue twister that you've done before?
Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
Right. Okay, that's perfect. Well, we're going to practice one together, and I'm going to say it first, and then we're going to repeat it back. So it says, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I'll try to say that really fast. It can be really hard, but let's try to say it together. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Right. So we're learning about this word called alliteration. And alliteration is the repetition of the initial consonant sound in consecutive words or in words in close proximity. So that's just a fancy way of saying that it is the repetition of consonants. Now, can someone tell me what a consonant is, or does someone remember what that was from a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
A letter that's not a vowel.
Yes, a letter that's not a vowel. So when we look at our poems, when we look at our sentences, we're going to look at the first word or the first letter that hopefully is not a vowel, and it's going to repeat. So that would be alliteration. So we're going to practice it with a couple poems. I'm going to read it first for you, but I want you to be looking with your eyes to see the repetition and of the consonants, and I also want you to be listening with your ears. And if you hear the repetition, if you hear alliteration, I want you to put your hand on your head. Okay? Let's see. It's called Fresh Fish by Dr. Seuss. Do you like fresh fish? Okay, let's stop right there. Where did we see alliteration in that first sentence?
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish, and what consonant is that?
F.
F, right. So fresh fish, that was our first consonant. It's just fine at Finley's Diner. Finley also has some fresher fish that's fresher and much finer. Okay, Kelsey, go ahead.
Fresher fish, fresher and finer.
Yeah, so we got a lot of F's in there still. So I think in this poem we're going to be using a lot of F's. And I won't stop the next time, but if you hear the alliteration, I'll look around and make sure that everyone has their hand on their head. But his best fish is his freshest fish. And Finley said with pride, the finest fish at Finley's is my freshest fish, French fried. So that was kind of a silly poem that had a lot of alliteration in it. Let's practice a different poem. This is called The Spoiled Brat. It's by Shel Silverstein, and he writes a lot of different books, a lot of different poetry. So we're going to see the alliteration in that, and put your hand on your head again if you hear that alliteration. The spoiled brat cut a hole in her hat. Okay, let's stop right there. Megan, what did you see?
Hole in her hat.
Hole in her hat, yeah, so that was the alliteration right there. So the spoiled brat cut a hole in her hat. The spoiled brat put a coat on the cat.
Coat and cat.
Yes, coat and cat. So we have the alliteration, the C and the C. The spoiled brat got into a spat about whether a rodent's a mouse or a rat. The spoiled brat broke a bike with her bat. Whoa, what was that? There was a lot of different ones going on there. Let me read it again so we can make sure we're paying attention. The spoiled brat broke a bike with her bat. What word are we, or what consonant are we consistently saying there?
B.
B, right. We said broke, bike, bat, and brat. The spoiled brat told the policeman to scat. The spoiled brat told her sister was fat and sat on her birthday cake till it was flat. So we're also doing something else in there. What's that word that we're doing also? The words that are
rhyming.
Rhyming, right. Good job. So the spoiled brat, she cusses and she spat. The spoiled brat pulled the wings off a gnat. The spoiled brat fell into a vat, got cooked up for dinner, and that was that. But in spite of the pepper, the salt, and the sage, so what alliteration was used right there? The salt and the sage.
S.
S, the consonant was repeated, right. The onions and garlic and oil. Nobody would touch a bite of that brat because she was so spoiled. And the author's name, his name was Shel Silverstein. Now, is Shel Silverstein, is that alliteration as well?
Yes.
Right, because they're repeating on consonants. So you can use alliteration in a couple words and sentences, and we looked at it right here with poetry. So because we're going to continue our poetry lesson That's why we're going through alliteration. We are going to practice a little bit on our own. So what I want you to do is, when I say go back into your table groups, and each table group has their own topic that they're going to be writing about. So the topic that's on there, you're going to write 2 sentences using alliteration. So say my topic was cats. So I'm going to say, my favorite feline friend is furry. So that was a lot of F's, right? Just like that one poem that we just listened to. So that would be alliteration of that sentence, and I'm going to write 2 of those. So 2 sentences. And when you're finished, sit quietly and wait for the rest of your table mates to be done. And when all your table mates are done, you're going to get together with them, and you're going to create a whole poem. So if I was talking about cats, then my table mates would be talking about cats, and we would have a whole poem about cats. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if that makes sense. Perfect. So you're going to be making a whole poem about that topic using alliteration, and then we are going to rotate and look at other table groups. So once you're finished with yours, we're going to present to other table groups. So you guys can go ahead and stand up and go to your desks, and we will practice.